self-confidence, they would be able to portray themselves as beautiful people because their inner beauty would blossom. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for a cohesive speech and active gesture. Next, Choi Jin-soo, class number 4, will present on natural disaster.
Let's imagine. What images occur to you when you think of natural disasters? An earthquake that crushes everything? Or a tsunami that makes cars, buildings sink into the water? Like this, we all think of massive destruction when we think about natural disasters. In the world, there are many disasters happening and many people are threatened by them. Recently, lots of natural disasters have happened. For example, in New Zealand, an earthquake abruptly struck Christchurch, and Japan turned into hell in just a few seconds after a 14-meter tsunami and a record-breaking earthquake. All these catastrophes came in no warning. When I lived in New Zealand, there were no signs of natural disasters, but after a few years, I heard in the news about the earthquake that struck Christchurch. At first, I could not believe it really happened, but it turned out to be true. I was surprised at the fact that these natural disasters destroy everything in a moment. This fact became more clear when I saw the case of Japan. The earthquake that struck Japan only lasted for a few hours, but it destroyed most of the buildings. What was worse, a tsunami came and swept everything. In addition to the massive destruction natural disaster itself causes, another problem is the situation after the happening. After disaster, there is chaos and people are in a panic. Also, it is very tough and time-consuming to clean up the mess. People's minds are not easily calmed down and they will live in the fear that one day another disaster will come again, destroying everything like it did before. We can't make sure that when or where a disaster will happen, but what's more important is that it is still happening. Indifference is not accepted. People should not panic, but stay conscious, and the government should be aware of potential dangers beyond natural disasters. Recent earthquake in Japan adds strength to this also. Because the earthquake was so strong, it made nuclear power plant in Fukushima explode. Tragedy didn't stop there. After the explosion, radioactive came out of the plant and spread to a town nearby it. But Japanese government only focused on clearing up the situation, so they didn't have time to make ways to stop it. And when it became serious, they could do nothing. As I said above, unfortunately, they told citizens to evacuate more than 30 kilometers away from it. This shows the result of indifference is sure devastating. As I said above, all these characteristics of natural disasters, such as sudden strike, promptness, and after effects, are all the things we should expect and be ready for. If we aren't, it will result in a huge tragedy. We should put a lot of effort all over the globe to stop this tragedy. Thank you.
It was a speech with descriptive explanation and even with his personal example. Finally, the last is An So-min, class number 13, will talk about food surfing.
Hello everyone. I'm the last person to speak, so please concentrate on my speech. Thank you. What comes up in your head when you hear the word food shortage? Most of you might think of the unpleasant disaster Japan had recently. Of course, Japan is suffering from the big earthquake and tsunami, and also ID is still having difficulties with the damages from the casualties which occurred last year. There can be many reasons why food crises are here to stay in our world, and there must be some solutions. So what should be done? First, we urgently have to weatherproof the world's crops as soon and as effectively as possible. It is known that the world has already committed to establishing a climate adaptation fund to help poor regions climate-proof bioeconomic activities, but has not yet acted upon the promise. Another conclusion is that we should never harm nature. Destroying nature will surely affect the food production. Let's have a burning forest as an example. The smoke coming from the flame increases the seriousness of global warming, which will fail the farming and also cause acid rain. Acid rain will be absorbed by soil and harm our health. Then the farmers will have to find new land to agriculture, and once they do, they will have to build a fire in it again. So a vicious circle is made, which is not good. Another one is that we need to recycle glass. You may ask, why glass, not plastic? But you will have to notice that making glass makes an enormous amount of toxic substances. Plus, it is said that recycling glass saves electricity. For example, one recycled glass saves an hour of 100 watts of light bulb, 25 minutes of computers, and 20 minutes of television. Here are some beautiful works of art made of recycled glass. Aren't they great? Thank you. To make the situation better, we have to, and I think it is important to have a thoughtful mind for trying to stop or at least slow down the speed of world hunger spreading worldwide. So, why don't we put it into practice and start saving the poor farmers and countries? Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. She nicely presented about food shortage and realistic solutions. And now we've seen all the participants. The results will be presented on Chanhyun website next week. We really appreciate your attention and patience. Thank you for listening.
Speaker, Miss Duval. Let's listen to her short comment.
Hi everyone. I really enjoyed the speeches. I was very impressed. I'm not a great public speaker myself. I could tell everyone worked really hard, and I think you all did a great job.
자, 이것으로 우리 사회 모든 행사를 마치고 발표는 다음 주 중에 하도록 하겠습니다. 그리고 시상은 우리 교장 선생님 교장실에서 송 콘테스트와 스피치 콘테스트를 함께 해서 다다음 주 수요일 날 창체 시간에 발표를 하도록 그렇게 하겠습니다. 오늘 학생들 보니까 우열을 가리기 힘들 정도로 너무나도 잘했습니다. 다 같이 한번 박수로 마치도록 하겠습니다. 수고하셨습니다.